No one planned to stay on Kepri 9. It was a mining moon. Cold, wet, bright with methane storms. People came for contracts. People left when they were done. Except me. I was Elias Rook, human systems engineer. Third tier, higher. Disposable in every sense. When the colony downsized, I stayed behind. Not by choice. By paperwork, my evacuation clearance was denied. A missing stamp. A wrong serial code. The shuttle left without me. The overseers said I would be reassigned later. They always said later, so I stayed. I worked. I watched, and I built. The module started as scrap. Panels from decommissioned habitats. Heat exchangers from broken rovers. Life support parts rejected by inspectors. I welded them together by hand. Slow, careful. I called it shelter. The others called it the junk coffin. They laughed when I dragged parts across the ice. They laughed when I sealed gaps with layered polymers. They laughed when I routed heat through a closed-loop system that had no approval tags. They told me I was wasting time. They lived in standard colony blocks. Corporate grade, thin walls, shared power grids. I lived in my scrap module. Alone, I reinforced the roof. Extra bracing. Redundant anchors. Methane winds could peel steel like paper. I had seen it happen. I installed pressure buffers. Manual controls. No automation dependency. If software failed, my hands would still work. The meteorologists predicted a bad season. Nothing unusual, they always predicted storms. Then the numbers changed. Pressure systems collided. Thermal gradients spiked. Methane density rose beyond recorded limits. The storm had a name before it arrived. Blizzard, Theta Prime, 105 years since the last event of this scale. The announcement came late. Too late, evacuation windows closed. Shuttles grounded. Orbital support pulled back. The colony was told to shelter in place. People laughed less after that. They checked seals. They tested heaters. They prayed to corporate engineering. I checked my module again. I closed external vents. I locked the roof braces. I powered down non-essentials then. I waited. The storm hit like a wall, not wind, pressure. The sky turned white and green. Methane crystals scoured everything. Colony block A lost power in the first hour. Block B followed. The shared grid failed. Cascade shut down. My lights stayed on. I rerouted heat from the reactor core. Low output. Stable. The colony heaters drew too much at once. They tripped safeties. Mine never did. The storm screamed. The walls groaned. I listened. I had built the frame to flex, not resist. Corporate modules were rigid, strong on paper, brittle in reality. Block C cracked at the seams. Methane snow forced its way inside. Emergency calls flooded the channel. I answered that my shelter was rated for 1, maybe 2. I opened the outer hatch anyway. The first to arrive was a logistics officer, blue with cold. Panicked, I pulled her inside, sealed the hatch, gave her a heat pack. She stared at the walls. This thing is holding. I nodded. More came. Engineers, medtechs. To security staff, I stopped counting at 11. We sat shoulder to shoulder, breathing recycled air, listening to the storm tear the colony apart. Block D collapsed. Roof failure. People died there. My module bent. It creaked. It held. The methane pressure spiked again. The storm entered its second phase. Temperature dropped further. Crystals hardened. Colony sensors failed. External cameras went dark. We had no visuals, only sound, a deep, booming roar, like a planet breathing. The logistics officer asked why my shelter worked. I told her the truth. I'd built it to survive neglect, not inspection. I assumed no one would help me, so I made sure I could help myself. Hours passed, then days. Food ran low. Water was rationed. Heat stayed steady. The colony command finally went silent. Their bunker failed. No more instructions. People looked at me. I had never been in charge of anything. Now I was. We shared tasks. We rotated sleep. We told stories to stay awake. The storm lasted 87 hours. When it ended, the moon looked carved. Colony blocks were twisted wrecks. Habitat domes crushed. Landing pads buried. My scrap module stood in the middle of it all. Scarred, intact, rescue. Ships arrived 2 days later. They scanned for life signs. They found us. The rescue captain stepped inside my module. He ran his hand along the welded seams. Who built this? I raised my hand. He stared at me. Out of scrap, yes. He laughed once, short, amazed. This saved 12 lives. 11, I said. One died from injuries. He nodded. Still, corporate inquiries followed, reports, interviews. The laughter was gone. They asked for my methods, my assumptions. I told them the same thing every time. I assumed failure. I planned for it. Humans survive because we expect things to break. The company rebuilt the colony later. New designs, inspired by mine. They called it adaptive human resilience architecture. I called it common sense. They offered me a promotion, a medal, a relocation package. I accepted the medal. Nothing else. I stayed on Kepri 9. I built more scrap modules. Better ones, not because they asked, because someday someone would be forgotten again. And when the next storm comes, they will not laugh at scrap shelters. They will look for the human who builds them. Asterisk.